All right, y'all. It is time for another Zodiac couples compatibility checks, right? And so, as you can see, we're talking about Aries and Scorpio, right? Water and fire, right? So, this dynamic, this couple, it can be very magnetic, it could be very explosive, very passionate. You know, they share a planet, right? Aries is ruled by Aries is ruled by Mars. Scorpio is ruled by Mars and Pluto, right? And Mars is the planet of passion, aggression, sex, all of that, right? And so, there could be a strong sexual chemistry with this couple, right? Both are passionate, both are intense, right? With this couple, neither backs down easily, all right. And I think that with an Aries Scorpio combo, the Aries is going to bring the boldness, and Scorpio is going to bring emotional intensity, right? So this is, I always say that Scorpio, as a Scorpio, should really be a fire sign, but the Scorpio gives big fire energy, and this is the feel of this dynamic. Aries and Scorpio feels like two fire signs, but it's not. It's a fire sign and a water sign, right? Um, Now on the flip side of this, because we know that there's always a flip side. Scorpios, you know, can tend to want emotional control, right? And it's not really to control that person, but the energy itself. We want to know what's up, what's going on, not be the rug pulled out from up under us, or any surprises that is bullshit, right? And Aries wants independence, right? So Aries want to move freely about the country, and if trust isn't developed and established, that can potentially look suspicious to Scorpio, right? So also with the Aries and Scorpio, Aries tends to do things to entertain themselves, right? And we know that Aries is impulsive and spontaneous and, just move quickly. So Aries will explode, and then once they explode, they're ready to move on. However, Scorpio, we don't do that. We hold on to grudges for a very, very, very long time, if not till death. So Scorpio is going to have to understand that Aries, once they have their fits of rage, they're going to be done with it and just let them move on. And Aries is going to have to learn that Scorpio is probably going to is not going to be ready to move on after you're done having your fit, right? So communication, communication, communication. Scorpio, Scorpio requires deep loyalty, not the perception of loyalty. It can't just look like loyalty. It has to actually be loyalty. And unfortunately, Scorpio will test their partners, and that is going to get on Aries' nerves, right? And Aries want freedom. And again, Aries want to move about the country free They do whatever they want to do, however they want to do it, whenever they want to do it, which isn't too similar to Scorpio, but I think that Scorpio recognize once they're in a relationship, typically that's a no-go unless there's challenging aspects, as well as Aries kind of still want to keep the options open, energy. They may be their version of loyal, but that's only typically, and I don't want to say, of course, because all Aries and Scorpios aren't the same, but Aries typically is only as faithful as their options allow them, right? Now, again, I'm not saying this for all Aries, so don't come at me in the chat, in the comment section, because again, we're not just one sign, we're all signs. So if Aries have a softer placement, say like a softer Venus placement, um, then that process might be a little bit different. But in the surface, and this is just a surface level reading, yeah, they're only as faithful as their options, right? Because they like versatility. I mean, some signs do, right? Now, if you can get an Aries locked in, then they'll be locked in. Again, especially if they have more positive aspects in their chart. And if you get a Scorpio that's not as controlling and possessive, it depends on the placements in their chart. But if you got a Scorpio that got a lot of Aries energy and an Aries that got a lot of Scorpio energy, oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, this is Aries Scorpio can be a very powerful, but also very volatile situation, right? Because there's going to be bumping the heads. I personally, I don't recommend this unless other placements. I keep stressing that, right? I mean, it could be very transformative, but it also can be very, very destructive because you've got some powerful planets here. And if it ain't some earth ground in it, and it could be. So I'm going to say this one, proceed with caution. See natal aspects on this couple, right? All right. I'll holler at y'all. Salute.